2025 Carabao Cup final on Sunday the 16th of March at Wembley. It'll be either Liverpool or Tottenham. Going into the second leg, Tottenham, who are about to kick off, lead by 1-0. Bergvall, their goal scorer, is on the substitutes bench tonight. Liverpool side, Kelleher, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson, Gravenberch with Jones and Szoboszlai, Salah, Nunez and Gakpo. And Tottenham's team, new signing Kevin Danso makes his debut. Matthijs Tel is the substitute. As the game begins, Craig Pawson blows the whistle, and Tottenham in the white shirts with the blue trim, blue shorts and white socks are playing towards the Kop in the first half and lose possession, and Liverpool in the all-red kit with the white trim get their first touch. Szoboszlai actually catches Salah on his heels and passes the ball straight out of play. So the Tottenham side tonight, Kinski, the goalkeeper who made his debut in the first leg and kept the clean sheet. At the back, Archie Gray at right back, Kevin Danso, who is on loan from Lens, but he spent most of his childhood growing up in England, so this is not unfamiliar territory. Played for Southampton on loan from Augsburg, and actually was at Reading and at MK Dons as a youngster on their books. So Danso with Davis in central defence, Spence at left back, then in midfield Bentancur with Sarr and Bissouma, and then Kulusevski and Son in the wider areas. And Richarlison through the middle, the former Everton man who's scored 4 times against Liverpool, and all of them, all 4 goals Richarlison scored against Liverpool, have been here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Tottenham 0. And Liverpool get the ball down, and Jones plays it across to Konate in the centre circle. Liverpool, the holders of this trophy, the record winners of this trophy, winning it last year under Jurgen Klopp for the 10th time, and attacking down the right and winning a throw-in 7 or 8 yards back from the corner flag. And they play it, take the throw and then go all the way back. Here is Van Dijk, the captain, in the centre circle with the bright orange boots. Remember how he was the man of the match in the final at Wembley last season, scored the late winning goal in extra time against Chelsea. Ball played down the left, but I think it was run out of play, it was, and it's a throw-in to Tottenham halfway inside their own half. Dion Dublin alongside me, Premier League Golden Boot winner, England international, and Liverpool tonight, Dion, knowing that if they're going to go through without resorting to penalties, they've got to win by at least 2 clear goals.
Yeah, they have. They're going to have to create some chances, but it's interesting to see Spurs just retreat into a low block in a 5-4-1. Richarlison's down at the moment. Yeah. He's holding his face and rolling around.
He was tangled with Van Dijk. This is 10 yards inside the Tottenham half. The two of them were shoulder to shoulder, sort of tussling together, and Richarlison has gone down. And I mean, he's writhing on the ground. He's holding his face and he's holding his neck, and Van Dijk comes across, and we're just seeing it again, Dion. Richarlison's arms across Van Dijk's chest, and Van Dijk, as he leans forward, sort of edges up his arm and catches him with his elbow.
I think he's just trying to, they've come together. I think he's fending him off. The referee's actually walking over. I don't know where he's walking.
He's got on his feet, Richarlison, and now
straight over to Van Dijk.
He's just sort of nudged into him. The two of them were talking to one another. Richarlison nudged him with his shoulder, and referee Pawson is going to call them across, and is pointing into the chest of Richarlison, who has got plenty to say for himself. Well, there we are. Blue touch paper lit,
exactly, and you can see Richarlison as well. He's saying to Van Dijk, you know, as if to say, you know what you've done. What you don't need now is Richarlison getting a silly yellow or a silly red, put Spurs in a really perilous predicament.
Liverpool 0, Tottenham 0. And Dion, come on, you know, you were involved in all sorts of things like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. You've got me wrong.
I've got the wrong man. Did Van Dijk?
I don't think he elbowed him in the face. What he did, I think, is ushered him away, John.
Here come Liverpool then. Ball played through for Nunez, but that's got too much on it, the pass. That was actually from Salah through the inside right position, and Kinski can come out and pick it up.
It's impressive support from those Tottenham fans. It's not a short journey, but they've absolutely jam-packed that goal to our left in the lower tier. Brilliant support from the Tottenham fans.
Liverpool putting the press on Tottenham. It's headed away by Sarr to the halfway line. Cleared by Konate, but he's landed it at the feet of Kulusevski, and now Kulusevski, in fact, it's actually Archie Gray coming up from right back who got there ahead of Jones. In comes the cross into the penalty area, Richarlison, but Konate went with him, and Van Dijk was there to mop it up when the ball bounced off Richarlison. It was slightly behind him, the cross, and it's out of play now for a throw-in to Liverpool. Positive from Tottenham. Stephen Kelly was saying before the match, Archie Gray, Porro's on the bench tonight. Long-time starter at right back, Pedro Porro, but with Danzo coming in, Ange Postecoglou has said, right, Archie Gray, I'm having you as right back.
Exactly, go and do a job for me. I think you won't see Spence and Gray going too far forward tonight, too early. I think they'll keep their shape for as long as possible, just to feel their way into the game, and then maybe midway through the first half start to push on your fullbacks when you get more possession of the ball.
0-0, 5 Live from the BBC. There's a real February chill in the air here on Merseyside as Gakpo takes the ball down and shields it from Kulusevski, who just nudges into him and concedes a free kick that Curtis Jones is going to take. So McAllister on the substitutes bench tonight. Luis Diaz as well, and no Alisson. So Alisson not involved at all. And obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold out injured, hence Bradley plays. Conor Bradley remarkably making his 100th appearance for Liverpool. Into the penalty area, Szoboszlai with a chance. That's blocked. Then comes back for the shot from Salah, which took a deflection and I think took the pace off it. And therefore Kinski was just able to drop to his left and make the save. Yeah,
lovely understanding of those players up top for Liverpool. Nunez just dropping one in for Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai into Salah. Really, really clever play. Creating chances out of nothing, really.
Liverpool again, Gakpo, then through for Robertson across to the near post, but that's cleared, might have struck the arms of Gray, only half cleared, Szoboszlai in the area, he is nudged into by Son, he went down, shouts for a penalty from the Liverpool crowd, but referee Pawson not interested in that, and then gives a free kick to add insult to injury for the Liverpool supporters, gives a free kick to Richarlison.
Yeah, I mean Richarlison just receiving the ball halfway inside his half, and Van Dijk's right behind him, handing the small of his back, making sure that he doesn't turn. The referee didn't like it, thought he was a bit too overzealous, but Liverpool there just putting some pressure on, creating a few off chances as well.
So Liverpool man down in the middle of the half. Richarlison's fine, but I'm not sure what's happened there. It must be, mustn't it? Nunez.
I think it's Nunez actually. Yeah. He's holding his calf.
He's down. So what's happened there is not clear at all whether it's something that happened off the ball. So he's receiving treatment.
Oh, it's his ankle. He may have rocked his ankle as he was jogging, but it's easily done. You're running back and you just slightly rock your ankle to the left. It can surprise you. It can swell up quickly, but let's hope he's okay. Don't want any early substitutions. He's getting back up on his feet, which is good.
Nunez. He did score one of the goals at Southampton in the quarter-finals. Liverpool have played Premier League opponents in every round. And we're just watching a replay again, Dion, of what happened with him.
It's really hard to see because I didn't see him rock his ankle. There was a bit of contact there with Richarlison, but I didn't see anything too bad.
Choice of listening tonight on Sports Extra right now, the delayed kick-off in the Women's League Cup semi-final between Arsenal and Manchester City. So the commentary is on Sports Extra right now on your digital radio or BBC Sounds. And the score is, Sohail Sahi?
Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1, John. We've got 7 minutes to play in the first half. Mary Fowler with the goal for Manchester City. Arsenal have responded. They got a chance through Leah Williamson, their captain. She fed Stina Blastinius. She raced onto the ball into the area but blazed it over from 8 yards out. It was a tight angle on the left-hand side. Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1.
7:30 kick-off there, 8 o'clock kick-off here. Richarlison is offside, the flag is raised, and there's also on a Thursday night one match being played in League 2 this evening where Chesterfield are 1-0 up on Doncaster Rovers, second place Doncaster Rovers, but Chesterfield winning by 1-0. Liverpool 0, Tottenham 0. Here's Konate, middle of the half, his own half. Konate just running it forward, and here is Bradley, who takes it up, the Northern Ireland international. To say, I can hardly believe he's played 100 times now for Liverpool already. Time seems to be speeding up as I get older. Here's Gray on the edge of his penalty area. Gray, that's charged down. Might run to Nunez, who's back on the field, but he couldn't get there. Covering challenge by Ben Davies, and it was cleared away out of play. And Ange Postecoglou down there in that now familiar grey, long knee-length padded coat, claps his hands together. Big night for these two, standing there on the touchline, not far apart. Ange Postecoglou, by the end of the night, might be in his first cup final as the Tottenham manager. Arne Slot, likewise, could be in a cup final at the first opportunity for Liverpool.
Absolutely, and I think the players want this. The players want this trophy. They are so close to a bit of silverware. It is important, this trophy, most definitely, especially to the players.
Yes, I was reading in the paper this morning, Chris Bascom of the Daily Telegraph was pointing out Pep Guardiola's first trophy, Manchester City, was the League Cup. Jose Mourinho, Chelsea, first trophy was the League Cup. And even you could go back in time, Joe Fagan's first trophy with Liverpool was the League Cup, and indeed Brian Clough at Nottingham Forest, his first trophy was the League Cup.
There you go. You see, who's it going to be?
Yeah, might be Eddie Howe.
It might be Eddie Howe, exactly.
Liverpool 0, Tottenham 0. We'll be there at Wembley, 5 Live. That'll be some occasion, whether it's Newcastle Liverpool or Newcastle Tottenham. Ball played out from the back. I can just imagine on Tyneside today, Newcastle supporters already making their plans. Robertson forward now to Gakpo. Gakpo plays it up towards the edge of the box where Danso is in on the challenge. Comes out and falls for Tottenham. Headed forward by Curtis Jones, then back towards the halfway line. And Liverpool will start again. Jones into the centre circle. Just a reminder as well tonight, if you've not been across this, there can be extra time and penalties, but there is no away goals rule. Here's Bradley into the box for Liverpool, tries to pull it back, but in comes the sliding challenge to block it behind by Ben Davies for a corner to Liverpool from the right-hand side. First corner of the match. Yeah, no away goals rule in operation, and there is VAR. Dion.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Tottenham. There's no pressure at all on these Liverpool players in the middle third, so they're having a chance to pick a pass when they lift their head. It's dangerous to do that. I do believe you've got to put more pressure on those Liverpool players.
Corner taken short, then swirled in, flicked on at the near post, headed up in the air by Danso. Kinski comes, doesn't take it. He was being challenged. There's no whistle as it's volleyed away by Jed Spence, and then the whistle does come because Kinski is down on his knees, and there's a Tottenham defender in there as well, Ben Davies.
Ben Davies, isn't it?
Yeah, who's taken a knock. I think Kinski collided with Davies, but we'll see. It was headed up in the air by Danson. Konate was there, and Kinski, in trying to take it, has sort of gone over the top of the two of them and landed on his teammate Davies.
Yeah, I think it's clumsy from the keeper. The keeper's tried to take it in his arms rather than taking it above his head, highest point. And you expect that as well as a player. If you know the ball's in the air and you hear the shout of keeper, you know you're going to get clattered. You've got to get yourself ready for that contact.
And I think the Liverpool supporters, you can hear it inside the ground, they're already on to Tottenham because they think that they are trying to slow the game down, whereas, and I mean, there's anger here, but Ben Davies has got blood trickling down his forehead. So, you know, this is a genuine and legitimate stoppage here. They can be as unsettled as they like, but he's got blood trickling down his forehead from a cut on round about his hairline, I would say. And so we will have a stoppage here while he's attended to, and I suspect it might mean a bandage, Dion.
Yeah, I think as soon as the Liverpool players started to moan, there was no blood, and then when they went well into their moan, the blood started to trickle down his forehead, from his hairline, down his forehead, down his nose as well. Yeah, I can see that there's some pressure being put on his head. I think he's got a cut in his hairline, just as his hairline hits his forehead. They're sorting it out now. I think the Liverpool players understand the situation now.
So 0-0, 13 minutes played. While we've got the stoppage, let's make another trip back to Meadow Park and Sohail Saeed.
Just approaching half-time here, John. Still Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1. Manchester City thought they had another goal, but it was disallowed because of offside. Good work down the right-hand side for Juno with the effort. Well palmed away by Van Domselaar, and then Mary Fowler tapped it home, but she was offside. Manchester City lead here at Arsenal by 1-0, and we've got 20 seconds of the first half to play.
Still Ben Davies is being tended to. I guess, the cut is he's got very thick hair, hasn't he, Ben Davies?
He's got very good hair.
Very good hair. And the cut is somewhere above the hairline. And I guess that the physios were having a look to see if they felt that it needed to be stitched or not. That's what I'm assuming.
They've just been putting pressure on, haven't they, the area. So I think they'll just go off now. He's gone off the pitch now, Ben Davies, at the far side.
And play now is back underway. And Davis is off. He's getting his shirt changed on the far side.
That's strange, isn't it? The Spurs got the ball back when Liverpool had a throw-in. That's a bit odd.
I think he blew the whistle.
Did he not blow? I thought he blew. I thought he went out for the throw and then he stopped it.
Well, I think. I guess judging by what we've seen, he must have been saying he blew the whistle before it went out of play. Hence the drop ball. Davis still off the field, still waiting to come back on. So Tottenham have had to just have a little rejig here. So Bentancur has actually dropped into the back line, and then Davis is back on. And Tottenham are back up to the full complement. 15 minutes played here, still 0-0 on the night. So Tottenham still 1-0 up, courtesy of that late goal, that Bergvall goal, his first one for the club. Slightly controversial, the feeling that he should have received a second yellow card. Although I think it needs to be pointed out as well that it was dubious, certainly, that he got the first yellow card that night, given away by Jones. Tottenham now with Richarlison, who's nudged into by Gravenberch, goes down. He took the opportunity there from the contact that there was from Gravenberch and wins the free kick 7 or 8 yards forward of the centre circle.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the contact. Richarlison, he gets into the centre of Liverpool's half, gets the contact from Gravenberch on the way back, and I tell you what, if Richarlison had looked up, Kelleher was a long way out of his goal. He's got to be careful. He was on the edge of his box.
Yeah, Quiveen Kelleher coming in tonight. There's not a problem with Alisson. Arne Slot's just decided that Kelleher would play. Yaros is on the bench. And so the free kick, Son curls it into the Liverpool box, and 2 defenders went for it, Bradley and Konate together, and it bounced off Bradley, and it's a corner to Tottenham. That was quite cheap.
It was cheap. It's a really weak sort of cross from Son as well. He just dinks it into an area. You know what? Bradley's really got to take charge of that. The furthest defender always takes charge. He should have said my ball and dealt with it. None of them did. No contact at all. No talking.
Corner then in front of the Kop for Tottenham, who know the importance of every chance that they get here to extend their lead. If Tottenham score first, then that's quite a tall order for Liverpool, even here at the Kop. Son has moved a big fluffy microphone out of the way, and Son takes the corner into the near post, which is headed away by Nunez. Comes out for Tottenham. Bentancur strokes it back to Spence, and Spence then right-footed and forward, but that's beyond everyone in a white shirt. Kelleher gets it, overarms it out with pace to Szoboszlai. Now here's Gravenberch in the centre circle, looks for the run of Bradley to the right. Bradley leaves it to Salah, the Liverpool top scorer, with a really terrific 25 goals now this season, with the 2 that he scored at Bournemouth on Saturday. 25 goals in all competitions for Salah, not to mention 17 assists in all competitions. That's
just incredible stats. I mean, what a player he's been. He just seems to be perpetual motion, whether it's goals or assists.
So no goals yet. One attempt from him that was deflected, and that was a comfortable save by Kinski. Here is Szoboszlai, now with quite a grungy look about him, I think, Szoboszlai, with his hair much longer and the beard as well. Konate to the right-hand side to Salah. A little push from him to Bradley, who was then landed on by Sarr, and that's a free kick to Liverpool over on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think that is really clumsy. I mean, Bradley's going nowhere. He's on the edge of the corner of the box, and Sarr is so clumsy there. And now Liverpool will just get the big lads up when they'll put it into a dangerous area. You're giving an opportunity to Liverpool here. It's got to be whipped into a dangerous area.
Yes, it is. Szoboszlai potentially with the right foot. That looks more likely, the sort of outswinger. There's a 2-man wall up on the corner of the penalty area. Still we wait. Tottenham holding the line about 2 yards inside the box. And then there's the big movement in from Szoboszlai, but headed away by Spence, who is effectively the first man in the box, was able to get up and under no pressure headed away. They've survived that one quite comfortably. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it's the most frustrating thing as a centre forward, as a centre half. If your free kick taker doesn't miss that first man, it's absolute criminal. You've travelled 50 yards, put it into an area, take some pace off it, just be accurate.
Van Dijk with a long pass from virtually on the edge of his own penalty area. That was 60, 70 yards, but Spence was able to get to it, and another header from him out of play above Salah. Remains 0-0. Liverpool might need a few goals tonight, depending on what happens at the other end. And even though they lost 1-0 4 weeks ago, 29 days ago in the first leg, remember before Christmas they put 6 past Tottenham in that extraordinary game, the 6-3, and the last 2 visits here for Tottenham, they've conceded 4 goals in each of those matches. Liverpool in possession, Bradley back into the centre circle. Van Dijk controls it with his left foot, then hits a right-footed pass. That's a pinpoint as well. Down to Gakpo. Gakpo onto his right foot, gives it back to Jones, who is behind him. Cody Gakpo again, moves in field, a little flick to Jones, 25 yards out, square from him to Bradley. There's Salah over there on the right-hand side in the full-back position, stabs it back to Bradley. Bradley's right-footed cross towards the back post is headed away by Gray for Tottenham. He knew that Robertson was there or thereabouts behind him, and Gray's able to put it out of play. Corner.
Yeah, as good as Bradley is, that ball when it's rolled back to Salah on that right-hand side, if you've got a Trent Alexander there, he's whipping that in with pace. Bradley's just being a little bit safe there. He had numbers to hit. The ball wasn't as good as I would want it to be.
Corner from the left-hand side. Szoboszlai runs his fingers through all of that hair and then comes up right-footed into the near post, but that's headed away by Richarlison, who got a clear sight of that and was able to clear it towards the halfway line. Almost halfway through the first half here at Anfield, and still we wait for the opening goal of this second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Here's Szoboszlai on the left-hand side, though, receives it from Jones. Szoboszlai attacking the penalty area, beats 2 men and then shoots, but straight into the body of Davis. But now square, Gravenberch's going to have a goal, but that's blocked inside the box. 1 or 2 shouts for a handball against Spence, and then the ball bounces down for Tottenham to bring it away. Kulusevski tried to flick it back past Gakpo, and in the end only succeeded in conceding a throw-in on the halfway line. The crowd raised the volume inside the 4 stands of Anfield. It's a lovely little shimmy from Szoboszlai.
Yeah,
he took it into the penalty area there.
It was, but good bodies on the line from Spurs. Strike by Szoboszlai, edge of the box. Strike by Gravenberch as well on the edge of the box. Good bodies on the line as well from Spurs defenders.
Tottenham now win it back from Szoboszlai. Richarlison holds off the Hungarian, and Spurs, I think, through Gray, will go all the way back to Kinski, who very carefully clears it high over the halfway line. Richarlison's beaten in the air by Van Dijk, and Liverpool move forward again with Curtis Jones. Jones forward to Nunez, but Nunez plays it back to Szoboszlai. They want more urgency from him. He was in space there, he's still in space. Szoboszlai just in the end taps it to Andy Robertson, then back into the centre circle, and Van Dijk hits a crisp pass, and then Bradley overhits that through for an easy one for Kinski to take like a back pass, which he picks up now. So 0-0 here at Anfield. They have reached half-time in the Women's League Cup semi-final with you, Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1, and Manchester City in control, and they deserve the lead. Mary Fowler with the shot that was too hot to handle after she was found by the impressive Vivian Miedemar. Arsenal, the holders, they've got work to do in the second half. Half-time here, John. Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1.
Promising attack by Tottenham down the left-hand side. It ended. Spence with the cross into the box, but Liverpool are able to clear it away. But the deflection in the end has taken it out for a corner for Tottenham.
Yeah, it was Salah actually. Salah was trying to lay it back to Bradley, but Bradley'd gone round on the overlap, and by the time he'd played the ball, Conor Bradley gone. Ball goes out for a corner to Spurs. Going to be an in-swinger this one.
Yeah, again from the left-hand side. Son having moved that microphone on its stand, a big sort of sausage grey fluffy microphone. In comes the corner to the near post. Danso was after it. The debutant was headed away across the box. Liverpool do clear though, and Salah plays it forward for Nunez. Nunez, I think, was caught there by Spence, but the move continues, bounces off Szoboszlai, and Tottenham have got it back halfway inside their own half. And Spence does very well and uses Kulusevski, who now gives it to Bissouma, and Tottenham, Bissouma across field. Son got a little touch on that, which actually worked very well, took it into the path of Sarr. Sarr's ball into the penalty area. Son made the run. It broke down on the edge of the box though with the Sarr pass, and Liverpool cleared away to the halfway line.
Yeah, just a bit clumsy from Liverpool there. Tried to get the ball so forward so quickly that the ball behind Szoboszlai, the ball was behind Gravenberch as well. They just couldn't get the momentum. It broke down. And this is what Spurs will want. Spurs will want to stay in this game for as long as possible.
Gravenberch though now is able to release Salah, right side. Salah's ball across, deflected all the way across goal. Nunez couldn't get there at the back post. It's a Tottenham leg that it came off as it was played across, and the ball zipped through the 6-yard box beyond the far post for a corner.
Yeah, very unselfish play that from Salah. Salah's actually coming into the box from the right wing. I think it's Gravenberch or Gakpo that goes past him, and then he tries to put it into Jones's feet on the penalty spot, but it just gets a ricochet, just goes past the far post. Kinski actually scrambling there.
So corner it is. Szoboszlai to take. Szoboszlai picks out Jones. Corner of the box. Jones appeared from almost, seemed to come from nowhere there, but as he played it back, Gravenberch went all the way back to Bradley in the centre circle. Spence heads it away after the long pass. Van Dijk, Salah pulls it down, but Danso was in, and then back into the penalty area where it is controlled and then carried away by Sarr, who I think is going to run into trouble. He is, he's dispossessed. Liverpool had men around him, Jones, and then Nunez. Now Szoboszlai beats one man and plays the ball to the left-hand side where Jones allowed it to run to Robertson, who curls the ball in, a flick, and then Gakpo on the turn. His shot is blocked. Then Nunez, that's blocked as well. Shouts for handball. Not that the defender could do anything about that. That was point-blank range. It was struck against him. Whether it hit his arm or it hit his body, I'm not sure, but it's bounced away. And from that clearance, Tottenham are on the counter-attack with Kulusevski up against Robertson. But there's only Richarlison in the penalty area, so Kulusevski has actually held it up there, tried to win the corner, and has been successful to win it off Robertson. Corner to Tottenham.
Yeah, Robertson not happy at all, shouting and screaming at his teammates as if to say, take the shot earlier. When we create chances, lads, we have to take them. We have to make the keeper make a save. They didn't on 2 or 3 occasions. Liverpool, then they were too slow to get back into defensive positions. Again, the microphone is being moved very carefully by the corner taker.
This is on the other side. Who put those microphones there? That's going to be in a meeting in the morning, isn't it? Corner then. Kulusevski into the near post, but Liverpool are able to clear it. Header down and away by Nunez, and it's out of play into another area down there, which is I'm not sure what that's for. It's got a white, it's just a square area there. It's not the technical area, it's to the right of the technical area. And anyway, there's no one in it.
Is it VAR?
It is. Well done.
It's VAR.
It's the VAR area. Throw in taken. Now Kulusevski pulls it back to the edge of the penalty area, a stretch away, and a clearance by Konate. And now Liverpool on the counter-attack. Bradley forward to Salah. Salah went for the early ball, but he didn't get the contact that he wanted on that, and Ben Davies was able to clear it away. The Liverpool supporters inside the ground sense that their team need their help here, because Tottenham, when they come forward, they are asking questions. 0-0 on the night, so Tottenham still lead 1-0 on aggregate. Bradley now to Salah, who virtually had his heels on the white line, comes in field now. 2 Tottenham players there, so passes it to Bradley, then back to Konate. Now here's Van Dijk. Then across to Robertson. Gakpo on the left-hand side. Gakpo up against Archie Gray. Gakpo, who's scored in his last 6 home appearances, turns, crosses left-footed. Header is straight at Kinski from Nunez from 10 yards out. Dion.
Yeah, difficult one. Really, I mean, Gakpo does really well. He's got 2 Tottenham players to take on down the left-hand side. Drops his shoulder a couple of times. Nearly gets to the byline. Just hooks it into an area. And it's a difficult one for Nunez because he's going backwards. He's on the penalty spot. He's got to get direction and power and pace on the header. And he just heads it right into the keeper's arms. But It's another chance that Liverpool haven't taken.
Yeah, that's the... you'll have been in that position many times, that sort of range, Dion, in your times. The ball played in, Szoboszlai shoots and scores from an offside position, and the goal is instantly ruled out by the raised flag. Ball passed through to him by Salah, but Szoboszlai was all on his own, and the reason that he was all on his own was that he was offside.
Yeah, I did think to myself, how's he created so much? Yeah, he's a yard offside, it's enough. It's a great run, though, I've got to say, and Salah's looking for that run. He's staying as wide as he possibly can, Salah, and he's looking for the red shirts to find the gaps in between the centre-halves and the full-backs, and he's just playing it in behind them. Great run, though.
I was just wondering, we do have the announcements, this trial in the semi-finals, where the referee can be, or is, mic'd up, and we can hear the announcements. I was very much hoping we weren't going to need it there, and indeed we didn't. Here's Jones on the edge of his own box. That latest Tottenham attack fizzled out, so Liverpool have got it, and the ball is played to Gakpo here, and in fact all the way back towards the edge of the penalty area. Quiveen Kelleher, who had a terrific performance, a starring role, even though Van Dijk was the man of the match in the final last season of this competition. Quiveen Kelleher played his part, and that's not the only time that he's starred in the League Cup final either. Remember him taking the penalty when Kepa missed his back in 2022. Liverpool in possession, Van Dijk to Konate on the halfway line. Konate, but Tottenham have got everyone behind the ball. Still 0-0. Worth pointing out, I think, mentioning again, 78 previous matches in all competitions. Ange Postecoglou's been in charge of Tottenham. He's never been involved in a 0-0 draw as the Tottenham manager. Ball played forward for Liverpool down the left, and it is deflected out for corner to Liverpool from the left, and then Robertson, 25 yards out, curls it into the back post. Salah on the volley, but stretching for it, actually volleyed it high and at pace, right across the face of goal and beyond the far post for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball actually from Robertson. He just leaves it in at the far post there. I mean, Salah's on his own, it's on his right foot. He's not as comfortable as you would expect on his right, but blazes it over the bar. But it was another half chance for Liverpool. You expect at least one of those to be hitting the target.
I think he was going for goal, wasn't it? We've got another stoppage, by the way, because Bissouma has sat down now, and he, as the referee comes over, he does get to his feet, so he doesn't need to have any attention on the field. And I think he's suggesting that he might have been caught there in on a challenge. He's looking at his lower leg. Anyway, it's a goal kick, and Tottenham waiting to take this, which they do now. Kinski chips it out to Spence. Back to Ben Davis, who hits it low and forward, but that comes back at Tottenham. Spence again is on the ball, in comes the challenge. Salah back out to Nunez on the far side. Nunez cuts back as Spence arrives, and then uses the available Gravenberch, and Liverpool go back to the halfway line, come through the middle. But Jones is dispossessed by Richarlison. Kulusevski, Bissouma, and then Bissouma's pass is behind Sarr, so Liverpool are back in business. I thought Tottenham might have had a chance there, but Salah into the box now. Salah with the outside of his boot, all the way across, then the shot from Gakpo finds the bottom corner, and Liverpool are level in the tie, and it's Cody Gakpo. What a season he's having. Now he's scored in 7 consecutive home appearances for Liverpool, Cody Gakpo. But most importantly, Liverpool are ahead on the night, and it's 1-1 on aggregate. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Spurs because they're trying to get out. They had the ball in the middle of the pitch. Bissouma tries to play the ball to Sarr and Son. They go beyond the ball. They're out the game. Liverpool player picks it up, gets it to Salah. Salah goes down the right-hand side, outside of his left boot, curls it into a dangerous area, and the danger's not dealt with. It finds its way to the far post, and Gakpo, good feet, laces with his right boot, near post, good finish.
So off they go. Tottenham restart the match, and now it is all level and all to play for. Lovely ball across from Salah with the outside of his boot, with the minimum of effort, wasn't it? But it was a strange one, as you said, Dion, because it went through so many players before eventually Gakpo was there, probably 8-9 yards out at the back post, and just one shot, first touch, into the bottom corner.
Yeah, I just think that the Tottenham players were too quick to go forward, not really securing the ball. That's why the ball was in behind Sarr and Son. They're out the game, more red shirts than white shirts defending, and I do believe that Gakpo just held his run, waited for that ball to come through, and he finished it well. The noise levels have gone up.
They certainly have. And now Tottenham are up against it. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Chesterfield are now 2-0 up on Doncaster Rovers in tonight's match in League 2. Chesterfield 2, Doncaster 0. And for Cody Gakpo, that's now 16 for the season for Liverpool in all competitions. The man who was one of the joint top scorers at Euro 2024 for the Netherlands, remember. But 16, that matches his total in the whole of last season, his first season as a Liverpool player, and he's certainly got power to add. I think he's had an excellent season.
Yeah, I do too. And you can see that the Liverpool players are actually looking for him now to do something. He likes to stay as wide as possible on the left-hand side, and they leave him isolated as well.
As Kulusevski couldn't keep the ball in as he runs it away to the halfway line. So throw in to Liverpool. Szoboszlai has already picked up a ball from one of the cones. The ball's around the pitch, so Liverpool take the throw quickly. They've got their noses in front on the night. They're now looking for the second goal. Gakpo moving in from the left-hand side, plays it square. Gravenberch is there. Gravenberch to Salah. Salah lifts it across. Kinski will come and makes a good catch. The young Czech goalkeeper high above Szoboszlai, and he's got the ball safely in his hands. And I suppose now Tottenham, well, ideally Tottenham obviously want to get a goal, but failing that, they want to get to half-time without it getting any worse for them, don't they? Oh, yeah. And that's careless from Kinski. It's been given away, and now Gravenberch just outside the D. Gakpo's ball, that's blocked, comes back to Gravenberch. Gakpo and Gravenberch exchanging passes, and then Tottenham are back in position, and they do not want to make any mistakes now. You know, that could be terminal for them.
Yeah, if they start giving the ball away like they did there. I mean, Liverpool didn't take.
Ball in for Liverpool, which has reached Gakpo on the left-hand side. Jones went down in the box. Gakpo's got the ball at his feet, plays it back. Robertson curls one in. That's headed away for Tottenham by Danzo. And Liverpool again now looking to press Tottenham right back into their defensive third. Ball into the area that Davis is able to shepherd behind. And that is a goal kick for Spurs with 7 minutes to go to the break.
Yeah, it's a tough one, this. For Spurs to sit back in a 5-4-1 and concentrate for the rest of this game, that's going to be tough for them. They're going to have to come out and play a little bit of football.
Ball was cleared by Spurs, but Sarr loses out on the halfway line, and Liverpool are back in possession again. Jones, Curtis Jones, Van Dijk orchestrating things, receives the ball, pointing to his right, then passes it to Konate, then it's back to Van Dijk, who goes on a wander himself away from Richarlison, but then passes it square to Bradley, who chests it down. Salah's over there. Salah will get another assist for the goal, so that's 18 in all competitions with that ball that he put across the penalty area. And then crunching challenge from Bradley. They love that from him, the Northern Ireland right back, and then it's a corner which is conceded by Jed Spence, who was furious with that decision.
I'm not sure that was. Of course, a great tackle on Son to win the ball back. And then Spence, I think it comes off of Bradley toe, goes out for a goal kick. But the loudest shout won that time, corner.
Yeah, with that tackle from Bradley, that was reminiscent of the cheer. There we are, there's the cheer as well for Conor Bradley, the song going out. Remember the Real Madrid match here. The corner then for Liverpool, out swinger, that's headed away by Archie Gray for Tottenham. Liverpool again, Jones, right-footed ball, that's high, Kinski's come, he's punched it, the offside flag is up, and the referee spotted it, and it's a free kick to Spurs inside their own box. So 5 minutes to go to half-time, 5 minutes for Tottenham to see this through to the break, because they are under pressure here. It's not been a match that's been packed full of chances, but Liverpool have dominated possession. Kinski, long and forward from him to the halfway line. Konate's underneath that. Szoboszlai chests it off. Gravenberch, then Jones with a touch. Ben Davies is able to take possession for Tottenham. Here's Bissouma now in the centre circle, but Jones in on the tackle. Then Konate beats Son to it, and Gravenberch drives a pass down the line for Salah to run onto. Salah up against Spence, then gets some support. Oh, Sarr's missed his tackle. Gravenberch into the penalty area. Gravenberch still going, and then it comes off the diving Spence, who blocks it behind for a corner. Tottenham stretched.
Yeah, very stretched. A great ball from Gravenberch as well down that right-hand side. He didn't play it to Salah's feet. He played it into the space in front of Salah. He forced his way forward with that ball, and that means the defence of Tottenham have to go back as well. More space to play for Liverpool.
Liverpool 72% possession. They've had 9 attempts to Tottenham's 0. Corner is deep, taken down by Salah inside the penalty area, plays it back to Jones. Now Gravenberch rolls it out there to the far side to the corner taker. Szoboszlai, who beats the first challenge, then rolls his foot over the ball, tried to find the reverse pass to Salah, but Tottenham had enough bodies in there, and Richarlison is roundly booed as he brings the ball away. And then that pass from Bentancur's almost cut out. That could have been really costly if Robertson had been able to latch onto that. It did actually find its intended target, Kulusevski, and then Danso in the centre circle actually decides to go all the way back to Kinski. If he just switched on, Danso making his debut, but Matthijs Tel is on the bench tonight. Here's Kulusevski on the right-hand side, cutting infield, left foot, shot, but he's got right underneath that, and it sails away and lands a quarter of the way up the cup.
Yeah, he did open up for Kulusevski there. I mean, a few runs across him now. I think Richarlison made a run across him as well. I think Son was on his way over as well, and it sort of opened up. Why not have a go? I mean, he missed the target by a long, long way.
So 1-0 on the night, 1-1 on aggregate. They are underway in the second half of the Women's League Cup semi-final with you, Sohail Sahi.
4 minutes now, John, of the second half. Still Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1, but the visitors have hit the post and crossbar in these opening 4 minutes of the second half. They're currently 41 minutes away from the League Cup final. Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1.
And with this scoreline, we've got 3 minutes left in the first half, so we are 48 minutes away from extra time.
You know what, Spurs are in a sort of... They set up like they're going to press when Liverpool have got a goal kick, but they don't actually press, and it makes it really simple for Liverpool to get controlled possession in the middle of the park with no pressure at all. One player might go, but the other two don't go, so I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do there, Spurs, because it's not working.
That was tongue-in-cheek from me, but when you do put it in those terms, it underlines what a task Tottenham have got on their hands here tonight. 1-0 down under some pressure, and right now Liverpool look strong favourites to win their way through to the Carabao Cup final. However, Tottenham are certainly still in it. The great pass forward, the cheers because Richarlison racing after it, can't reach it, and it bounces out of play down in front of us, down in front of the VAR area actually, for a throw-in. And now Richarlison has sat down on the pitch and he's slapping the turf. It looks like he's got a problem, and he's felt something. He's being mocked by the Liverpool supporters. Ange Postecoglou's saying, hang on, Richarlison sat down, play continues, Liverpool aren't of a mind to put it out. Gakpo takes it on, cross to the back post, Salah with a shot, it bounces down and up, and Kinski above his head leaps up and pushes it over the crossbar. And Tottenham are saying, the players are saying, why did you allow play to continue to Craig Pawson, the referee? But of course he's under no obligation to stop play when Richarlison is down and it's not a head injury.
Absolutely not. I mean, Richarlison chased the ball that went out Liverpool got the ball, quick throw-in, started to go and progress up the field. Richarlison sits down, he slaps the floor. To see both managers, Hans Postecoglou was pointing to the referee as if to say, come on referee, stop the game, and Slot's waving his arms forward as if to say to his players, keep playing, and why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Well, Richarlison is now receiving treatment, and you can hear the Liverpool supporters have decided already that Richarlison's not going to be able to continue in the match, and that means that we're about to see a debut for the 19-year-old French under-21 international who's just arrived on loan from Bayern Munich. Matthijs Tel is going to come on in added time at the end of the first half, and actually we're going to have 7 minutes of added time at the end of this first period. We've had quite a number of stoppages, but here we go. Richarlison is going to limp out of the match, and be fair to say the Liverpool fans aren't sorry to see the back of him. But Matthijs Tel still got a lot to prove. He's very popular at Bayern Munich, but with all of the attacking talent, he's barely been able to get an opportunity under Vincent Kompany this season. Started just 2 league games, and I'm not sure whether Richarlison there, as I was watching him run onto the field, well, he's being waved off by the Liverpool supporters, and he's limping down the tunnel and out of sight. It's a corner to Liverpool to restart play. In added time at the end of the first half, Liverpool winning 1-0. Szoboszlai into the near post, but that's headed down and away by Bentancur. However, it's bounced back to Szoboszlai, who's hoisted a high ball in, and Kinski, who might have caught that, has punched it unconvincingly out for a corner over there on the right-hand side. He just sort of got half a fist contact on that, and it bounced straight behind.
And that's frustrating as well, because there's no pressure at all. It's just hoofed in the air by Szoboszlai. I mean, Virgil van Dijk actually runs away from the keeper as if to say, I'm never going to compete with the keeper there, and he punches it out of play for a corner. It's an awful bit of goalkeeping.
Doncaster Rovers have got a goal back. Chesterfield 2, Doncaster 1 in League 2, and that is half-time. Corner for Liverpool then, from the far side, their right. It's going to be an in-swinger, left-footed delivery. Robertson takes it, but that's headed away for Tottenham by Bentancur. Comes out to Gravenberch, who heads it square to Jones, and then Gravenberch receives it back and then goes all the way back to Bradley, who I think will go all the way back to Kelleher. He's not had a save to make. Quivine Kelleher, a little slip from Sarr. They enjoyed that as well, the Liverpool supporters. Liverpool have lost here this season, but that was way back in September. Their only home defeat under Arne Slot, the 1-0 against Nottingham Forest. But since then, in every single home match, they've scored 2 or more goals, Liverpool. So that's ominous for Tottenham as well. Just the one so far tonight, and Van Dijk very nearly dispossessed by Kulusevski. Stabbed it away, but gives possession back to Tottenham. They've got a sniff here, Tottenham. Sarr to Spence, who's on the right. And then Sarr is forced to pass the ball all the way back to Kinski. That was a chance.
It was a chance, because we know the way that Virgil van Dijk plays the game. He's well offside, Son, well offside.
Kinski has gone long through the middle to Son, and it was so far offside that the flag even went up straight away.
Which is a rarity. I mean, Van Dijk, we know, he's a very relaxed player, very cool customer, but he just took a little bit too long there, and Spurs got a bit closer with the press and nicked the ball.
Yep, but if they'd been sharper there, they were on the ball, 30 yards from goal, but it came to absolutely nothing. I make it Liverpool have had 8 corners in the first half, but while they've threatened sporadically Tottenham, Kelleher, I don't think I've made a note on that side of the piece of paper other than Richarlison's early tussle with Virgil van Dijk, and Richarlison has now left the pitch, and here is Robertson for Liverpool. Down the left, Gakpo, he allows it to run to the goal scorer, Cody Gakpo. That's 4 goals in his last 4 appearances as well for Cody Gakpo. Got an excellent goal-scoring record in this competition, strangely, as well. Bradley crossing right-footed. Jones was after that, but actually Spence did well. Spence came across in front of Jones and got his head to it to steer it behind for yet another corner.
Yeah, Bradley does well, actually, because he could have easily rolled that to Salah, but he didn't. Just left it into an area, and Jones is on his way. But Spence just stays ahead of him, stays ball size, stays goal side as well, gets it absolutely spot on. Another corner though for Liverpool.
There's a penalty at Meadow Park, Sohail Sahi.
It's very quiet here, John, because Arsenal are about to take the penalty. Blackstenius was fouled in the area. It's Caldente who's stepping up, right-footed. She puts it past Yamashita, and the holders Arsenal are level with Manchester City. It's 1-1.
Here, half-time approaches at Anfield. Liverpool had the corner, but it was rather wasted, that one, by Szoboszlai. And Tottenham were able to clear it away comfortably. And it's behind now in the end for a goal kick. So 1-0 Liverpool lead. I make it we've still got 2 minutes of added time to play at the end of this first half. And I suppose the positive thing from a Tottenham point of view, they're not out of it yet.
No, they're not, and they have had some half chances that they should have done better with. When I mean possession in the middle of the park, when they could have created more of what they've done so far. Liverpool have dominated possession, as we've already said, but they haven't taken their chances either. They've just levelled things up, but Spurs will be very happy going in at half-time at this scoreline.
Liverpool in their own half. Bradley does well again under pressure there. Comes
good player.
Yeah, very good player. If it is to be the case that Trent Alexander-Arnold is off to Real Madrid this year, then would you say Bradley has shown enough to suggest that he'd be a regular first choice?
I think he's definitely shown enough to give him a chance, give him the position, give him the shirt, and say, there you go. Can you continue that? Can you be consistent like Trent has been for years and years? Be a huge loss though, Trent, huge loss.
That's Dion Dublin with us on 5 Live from the BBC. Kelleher, long pass forward from him, but Gray's underneath that, headed away. But there was an offside flag up, so it's a free kick to Tottenham, halfway inside their own half. So what about Matthijs Tel then, the 19-year-old, signed last week. Ange Postecoglou persuaded him to come. He's not 20 until April. I know they were very excited about him at Bayern Munich when they signed him from Rennes. I remember going there last season, and obviously Harry Kane had arrived on the scene, but there was great hope for this young striker. But as I say, not been a part of things really under Vincent Kompany this season. Not scored this season. Did get 10 last season in all competitions, but here he is now on loan at Tottenham and on the field. And back to the Women's League Cup semi-final. Sohail Sahi.
Another penalty, and this time for Manchester City, John. Mary Fowler was fouled inside the penalty area. So after Arsenal have just equalised 3 minutes ago, can Man City put themselves back into the lead? They can't. It was saved straight down the middle, well punched away by Van Domselaar. So it's still Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1.
And while that was happening, the final whistle the half-time whistle has been blown here at Anfield, with Liverpool leading Tottenham by 1-0. Good value for it. Cody Gakpo scoring in the 34th minute of the match, set up by Mo Salah's ball across the box. Liverpool have certainly been the better side, Dion Dublin, but just the 1 goal to show for it so far.
I believe they have, but I think they're kind of a few gears short of where they should be, and I think Spurs as well, when they've got the ball back, haven't really capitalised on those half chances they've had when they've got the ball in the middle of the park. They haven't had the players getting forward either. So both sides, I think, slightly below par tonight.
And as the players walk off the field and down the tunnel, we have a scoreline of Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0, which means the tie is all square at 1-1 on aggregate.
John Murray and Dion Dublin are Anfield for us this evening. Dion, as you and John have been saying, Liverpool the better team in the first half, but at 1-1 this game is far from over, particularly as you said, because neither side looks like they're playing at full capacity.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think Liverpool have had plenty of shots blocked. Is that bad finishing from Liverpool or great defending from those Spurs players? Spurs have got the ball back, they've nicked it in the middle of the park, then they've broken. They haven't had enough options, passes forward, players in good goal scoring positions, so they've given the ball away. I just think they've both been sloppy. I think the second half we need to see a little bit more, and I think if Liverpool keep creating chances like they have, especially down the left hand side from Gakpo, they'll go ahead and win the game.
That seems to be where they're getting a lot of joy in this game. There've been opportunities for Tottenham, though. As you said, they haven't quite managed to get a hold of it in terms of transition, but they created a couple of maybe half chances, would you say?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But what happens is when because they haven't had the ball for so long, they go back into a 5-4-1. The centre forward's halfway inside his own half. By the time they get players in and around, which has been Richarlison, Liverpool are back in defensive positions, and that chance to get forward has already gone. So I think Spurs are going to have to be a little bit braver, leave somebody up the pitch, maybe one player or two players, so you've got an out ball and you can get your defence up the pitch. That's the only way Spurs can get back in this game.
Dion, for now, thank you very much. We'll be back with Dion and with John for the second half from Anfield. Liverpool 1-0 up on the night through Cody Gakpo. It's 1-1 overall from the first leg, which Tottenham won by 1-0 as they play for a chance to play Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final. There is one other score to bring you in the EFL. Currently Chesterfield 2, Doncaster Rovers 0 at half-time. It was due to be a 7:45 kickoff, but kickoff was delayed because Chesterfield midfielder John Fleck was taken ill during the pre-match warm-up. The club have posted that he's been taken to hospital as a precautionary measure. We will be back for the second half very shortly. First, though, the news with Stuart Clarkson.
The voice of the UK.
And the home of the Six Nations.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Kelly, thank you. Good evening. Ministers say the interest rate cut to its lowest in 18 months will mean people will have more money in their pockets. The Bank of England's cut its base rate to 4.5% from 4.75%, but also downgraded its growth forecast for the economy for this year. The Conservatives have called that disappointing. Paul Johnson is from the Independent Institute for Fiscal Studies.
We've essentially had no growth over the last 9 months, get very little over the rest of this year. And if that's the case, then the tax revenues that the Chancellor's relying on are unlikely to come in, and even tougher choices on spending and tax going forward. And put that together with higher than expected forecast inflation later on this year. It's really not a cheerful report.
A government decision to dismantle Grenfell Tower in West London has been met with anger by some bereaved relatives and survivors. The Deputy Prime Minister, Angela Rayner, had a private meeting last night with families. Many of them say they don't support the plan. Ministers are due to make a formal announcement tomorrow. Emma O'Connor is a Grenfell survivor.
We understand that it's unsafe, but if it's out of sight, it will definitely be out of mind to those who just are responsible for the tragic deaths.
President Trump has reiterated his plan for the US to control Gaza after removing Palestinians from the territory. The White House has insisted that would only be temporary. The proposals have received international condemnation. In a social media post, Mr. Trump said the strip will be turned over to the US by Israel when the fighting ends. 3 couples have told the BBC they were wrongly advised to have an abortion by Nottingham University Hospital's NHS Trust. 2 of the families say they terminated their pregnancies after being mistakenly told their babies had genetic conditions. The Trust says its fetal care team has always sought to provide compassionate and professional care. And police in London say they've arrested 230 people in the past week in a clampdown on phone snatching. Officers say more than 1,000 handsets were recovered. The stolen mobiles market across the capital is said to be worth around £50 million a year.
For the new series of The Apprentice, Lord Sugar loved our promotion ideas.
I'm thinking swap your black cabs for horses. That sort of thing.
Is this plan A? I don't even want to see plan B. Next.
For this one, Lord Sugar, 2 words. Sock puppets.
Here's another 2. You're fired.
Or maybe not. The most demanding series yet.
Pathetic.
The Apprentice. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport.
With Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We'll bring you second half commentary of Liverpool against Spurs in the League Cup semi-final very shortly. There is some other sports news to bring you from today, though. And despite calls for a boycott, the ECB announced today that England's Champions Trophy match against Afghanistan will go ahead later this month. BBC's chief cricket reporter Stefan Schemmelt can tell us more about what the ECB have said today in response to those calls for a boycott.
Those calls for a boycott were led by the Labour MP Tonya Antoniazzi, and a letter calling for England to refuse to play the game was signed by nearly 200 politicians and sent to the ECB. In reality, a boycott was never really on the cards, and last month the ECB asked for more action from the International Cricket Council, and they doubled down on that today. Richard Thompson, the ECB chair, said, "What is happening in Afghanistan is nothing short of gender apartheid. When women's women's and girls' cricket is growing rapidly around the world. It's heartbreaking that those growing up in Afghanistan are denied this opportunity. So the game goes ahead on February the 26th, but given the regularity of global cricket tournaments, it's an issue that won't go away until the ICC acts.
Elsewhere in cricket, there's a podcast out now on BBC Sounds breaking down all you need to know about the sale of shares in the 100 franchises. 6 of the 8 teams have already agreed deals that will raise nearly £500 million for English cricket. Eleanor Oldroyd has been delving into the details with Stefan, with Test Match Specials Daniel Norcross and our sports editor Dan Rowan.
The numbers, as I'm sure the guys will testify, are quite remarkable. I mean, the total value of the 6 franchises sold so far is almost £800 million, still 2 to go. And it does feel, like a really significant landmark moment for English cricket, one that will change it forever.
I mean, that is huge money, isn't it, Stefan? And it's interesting to see a lot of IPL links, but not exclusively the IPL.
No, and the ECB were always really keen for this not just to be an IPL carve up, that they wanted a mix of investors, and we'll get into that. Why these guys have wanted to invest in the 100, and we will get into the positives and negatives as well. It's not just about floods and floods of cash coming into the English game, but from a pure financial point of view, and some of those numbers that Dan has just gone through, they are staggering amounts of money. As we sit here with 6 teams having been sold, 2 more still to go, it's probably going to end up as the best part of £1 billion that these 8 franchises have been valued at. So far, the stakes have been sold for 466 million, so that'll go past 500 million. I don't think we are over-egging it to say this is the most significant event in English domestic cricket since England gave professional T20 to the world.
It is worth listening to, and you can hear much more of it via the TMS podcast, which is available right now on BBC Sounds. We're into the second half of Arsenal against Manchester City in the Women's League Cup semi-final. That match started late because of a broken down ambulance. Sohail Sahi can bring us the latest from what's been an eventful game at Meadow Park, Sohail.
Yeah, it certainly has, Kelly. It's been rather dramatic. At the moment, we've got 20 minutes to play. It's Arsenal, the holders, 1, Manchester City 1. Manchester City just going on the break. They're inside the penalty area. It's been a frantic second half. Mary Fowler opened the scoring for the visitors after 26 minutes. Went into the break, goal up, and they deserved that lead. Arsenal have responded in the second half. They equalised from the penalty spot. Mariana Caldante scoring after Stina Blackstenius was fouled by Rebecca Kanak. And then 3 minutes later, Manchester City had a penalty of their own. Mary Fowler was sandwiched in the penalty box by 2 Arsenal defenders. She stepped up herself, took it, went straight down the middle, and the Arsenal goalkeeper Van Domselaar, she didn't move. She punched it away two-handed. So a missed penalty from Manchester City, and it's 1-1 with 19 minutes to play. Be extra time and penalties if the score stays level.
Sohail, thank you very much for that. The winner will face Chelsea, who've made it to their 6th straight league final after beating West Ham last night. New signing Kira Walsh made her first start. Here's captain Millie Bright on what her England teammate has brought to the squad.
She's fantastic. I mean, her performance speaks for itself. I think you see what she adds to this team, and it's probably been the type of player we've never really had. I think, her technical ability, she's confident in tight spaces, she wants the ball in every scenario. But, she's a fantastic person. Having known her through the England teams and experiences there, I think she's a fantastic addition and something that we really need in the way we want to play as well. So, yeah, I'm really grateful for all the signings. I think every player for us, that's the ones that have departed, I think have been amazing for us. But again, it goes back to us leading the way and evolving yet again, not standing still and just accepting what we had last year. We want more.
And I guess it shows the backing you've got at this club with pushing forwards, wanting to get that quadruple that might be on the cards this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the aim. Every trophy we want to lift them all. I think that was something that really stood out from when Sonia first came in, and something that really struck me was she's not afraid to say she wants every trophy and she wants everything we compete for, we want to win, and I really like that. I think putting it out there is there's nothing wrong with that, and it sets the tone really high for us as players. We have to show up every day in training. You can't just turn it on in this you know, in our league, FA Cup, Subway Cup, Champions League, you've got to be on it every single day, and I think she's taken us to that next level and been more consistent with that. And you know, still we want more from our performances. Yes, we're in the final, but again, that's the competitive side. We're coming off a little bit frustrated, a little bit disappointed because we want more from ourselves. But yeah, when she first came in, it was like, I want to win, and I was like, yes, we want that too.
That was Millie Bright talking to Emily Herbert. For more on deadline day in the WSL, head over to BBC Sounds and the Women's Football Weekly with Ben Haynes, Ellen White and Jen Beattie. Sohail Sahi is still with us. He's at Meadow Park watching Arsenal against Manchester City. And Sohail, given Chelsea's appearance in the cup final, they're already doing well in the Champions League. They've got a chance to progress in the FA Cup. They're 7 points clear at the top of the WSL. They're in a fantastic position to win a quadruple here, aren't they?
They are, you're right, Kelly, but I think I might sound like a manager here, but I think they've got to take it one game at a time. They're into the League Cup final once again, but the last 3 seasons they've lost to the 2 sides I'm watching this evening. Manchester City 3 years ago by 3-1, and then Arsenal in the last 2 League Cup finals. So I think the Chelsea manager, Sonia Bonpastor, I think if you asked her the question, she probably replied to you as well and said we've got to take one competition at a time. And as we both know, Chelsea have yet to win the Champions League. They did get into the final a few seasons ago, but they got absolutely thrashed by Barcelona, especially in that first 45 minutes. The game was over by half-time, but they had a fantastic transfer window, so they've definitely strengthened the squad, and they've got the depth now to attack all 4 competitions.
Sohail, thank you very much for that, and I know you're going to keep us up to date with everything that happens in that game between Arsenal and Manchester City. You're absolutely right about Sonia Bonpastor, who's talked about Chelsea and said we haven't won anything yet. Just because we get to a final, if you don't win it, it doesn't mean anything. Just to bring you the latest in League 2 and that delayed kick-off there, Chesterfield are 2-1 up against Doncaster Rovers, and the second half has just got underway there. Second half about to get underway at Anfield, where Liverpool lead 1-0 on the night against Tottenham. It's 1-1 on aggregate in their League Cup semi-final second leg. John Murray and Dion Dublin are there for us. Dion, just talk us through the goal for Liverpool this evening, because as much as we talk about, you know, the effectiveness of Liverpool's forwards, it was Scruffy's probably overselling it, but there were a couple of swipes at it, and it wasn't necessarily caught in the most clean way by Cody Gakpo.
No, not at all. It was a ball on the right hand side from Salah with the outside of his left boot, sort of swinging away from the keeper. And I think it was Szoboszlai in the box who tried an overhead kick, and he actually drew in about 2 white shirts, which left Gakpo on the far post. Didn't catch it right at all, kicked it into the ground, bounced a couple of times, sneaked in at the near post, but that's all you have to do. You need to get back on level terms. They are on level terms. And the manager tonight, Slot, will be saying, keep doing what you're doing, you will win the game if you get as much possession as you had in the first half.
Matisse Tell's going to be an interesting player to watch in this second half, because there is talk that he could be the player to succeed Son.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's direct, isn't he? He's very direct. He likes the ball at his feet, or he'll have it in behind as well. So the defender that's playing against him is going to have to think, now, do I go tight or do I stay in the space? He's got a lot of pace. He's very direct. He will create something in the second half, because I think there's an unknown about him that Liverpool won't know.
They are almost ready to get underway at Anfield, taking you through the second half. Possibly extra time as things stand between Liverpool and Tottenham. Your commentary team, settle yourselves down. It's Dion Dublin and John Murray.
Yeah, on a cold night, Kelly, I must say as well, here. That chill wind is whistling up our trouser legs, isn't it, Dion?
Oh yes, here. Oh yes.
Sitting up high in the main stand on the tunnel side of the ground, Liverpool leading Tottenham by 1-0. Liverpool, as they started, with Kelleher in goal. Alisson's getting a rest tonight. Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson are the back 4. Then Gravenberch with Szoboszlai and Jones in midfield. Salah and Gakpo either side of Darwin Núñez. Luis Diaz was being given quite a rigorous warm-up, wasn't he, at half-time?
Absolutely, yeah.
Might well see him in the second half, but Liverpool on the attack towards the Kop, and the ball is played across behind Núñez, who does well, actually, to grab it back, then played across to Salah. Salah beats Spence, shoots low, it took a deflection, and in any case, I think it was probably going wide with the deflection. And Kinski, nevertheless, dived down to his left and made sure, just got a touch to it. And it's a corner to Liverpool right at the start of the second half.
Yeah, it's a great little run from Gakpo, and he just played it in behind Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai digs it out, and Salah couldn't do anything with it. White shirts all over him again. Another corner. What's that? Number 10 for Liverpool now? Is it something like that?
Yeah, number 10. And it's going to be taken way down below us, just to our right. 2 big steps back by Andy Robertson. So it's a left-footed in-swinger from the right side into the near post. Attempted flick by Szoboszlai. It came off Bentancur, actually, in the end, who was just behind him to deflect it round his post for another corner, second successive corner. Choice of listening right now, by the way. Arsenal Manchester City in the Women's League Cup semi-final is on Sports Extra right now. If you switch across, Ailey Barber and Anita Asante with the commentary. But the corner for Liverpool. Robertson to take it. It's glanced across. Kinski was able to save it. Szoboszlai got his head to it, glanced it through a crowded 6-yard box, and Kinski pushed it away. Liverpool threatening that second goal that would take them ahead in the tie. Gravenberg. Then to Jones. Now here's Gakpo onto his right foot. Shoots low across the box. Blocked by Danso, the debutant. And then headed away, but given back to Gakpo, who will use Jones, who is stationed 35 yards from goal. And Liverpool go all the way back towards the halfway line. So, yes, Danso, one of 2 substitutes. Danso on loan from Lens, is in central defence with Ben Davis. Ball's played over the top. Here is Danso, is able to head it away. Archie Gray at right back, Jed Spence at left back, Kinski in goal, Bentancur, Sarr and Basuma in midfield, Kulusevski and Son in the wide areas, and Tell having come on for his debut late in the first half for the injured Richarlison. Another injury. Tottenham, it is easing a little their injury problems, but still a long injury list as Spence wins a free kick near the halfway line. Yeah, no Van der Ven tonight, who wasn't involved at the weekend against Brentford. Ange Postecoglou said, yeah, he's just not right at the moment, which is a worry. But no Brennan Johnson, no James Maddison, Solanke's out, Timo Werner as well, and that's just some of them. And now Richarlison added to the list as well. Chesterfield have extended their lead against Doncaster Rovers in League 2. It's 3-1 Chesterfield. Liverpool having to defend here, but they do effectively. Robertson is able to take the ball and then clear it out of play near the halfway line. Dry, cold night on Merseyside. Liverpool leading on the night. Gakpo's goal late in the first half. As Kelly was saying to Dion, not a thing of great beauty, but they needed it as the ball is played forward by Tottenham, by Davis, but it comes back at them. Salah went for an early ball. Kinski's come and he's caught Nunez. It's a penalty. Nunez went sprawling. It was a tight one. Kinski raced out of the 6-yard box, but Nunez running onto it just got a touch. Kinski went down, caught him. Down went the Uruguayan, and referee Pawson pointed to the spot.
And I think he gets it absolutely spot on as well. I mean, the touch from Salah in front of his own manager, in front of the dugouts, he turns out the sky, he pulls it, he takes it down the right wing. You can see Nunez is making his run across the keeper, and Salah just leaves it in an area which tempts the keeper out about 10-15 yards out of his box. And we know that Nunez is quick. He gets there as quick as he possibly can, and he just toes it away from Kinski. Kinski's committed, catches his foot. Referee's absolutely right to point to the spot, but who's going to take it?
Well, who? Who, I wonder. Yeah, that man Mo Salah has got the ball in his hands. There was never any doubt. And Kinski, Nunez's touch took him wide, so there was no suggestion that there would be a red card or anything like that. It was a genuine attempt by him to go for the ball from the goalkeeper, but now Kinski, in the early days of his Liverpool career, well, these are big moments. Doesn't get much bigger than this, facing a penalty from Mo Salah at the Kop end of Anfield, and this to put Liverpool ahead in this semi-final tie. Salah steps out to his right and then left-footed, sent it high into the top corner. Kinski went the wrong way, down to his left. A brilliant penalty from Salah. That was of the unstoppable variety. and Liverpool have now turned it around. 1-0 down after the first leg. Liverpool 2-0 up on the night. Salah scoring his 8th penalty of the season. Now he turns to the Kop. He beats his chest. He clenches his fists. He goes down on his knees and he kisses the turf. That's number 26 of the season for Liverpool for Salah. Liverpool 2-0 on the night and leading 2-1 on aggregate.
I'm not sure I've seen many better penalties when I've been watching anybody play football. It's an absolute beauty. He's left-footed, he's put it to the keeper's right, to his left, in the top corner from the penalty spot with pace, and it's an absolute fantastic penalty. Wow.
Liverpool knew that they had to win by 2 clear goals tonight to reach the final without recourse to penalties. That is what they're doing, and we are only 7 minutes into the second half here at Anfield, and Tottenham now have got a lot to do. Not out of it, not by any means, but Liverpool with their tails up, and Nunez, having won the penalty, plays them a ball to Salah. Salah across for the outside of his left boot, looking for the run of Jones into the penalty area. Tottenham dealt with that, but they are under the pump now. Ange Postecoglou's side, they are staring at semi-final defeat now. But again, underline it, Dion, they're not out of it. You know, if they're able to get a goal back, it's parity again.
Absolutely, and they've just got to settle down. Spurs at the moment, they are just, what they're doing is they're working really hard to get back, but they're not getting back into any shape, and they're leaving lots of spaces in between each other where Liverpool are finding those gaps and those runs and those passes.
2-0 to Liverpool. Gakpo and Salah. Chesterfield now 4-1 up on Doncaster Rovers, and Spence into the tackle with Gravenberch, and it's out of play for a throw into Liverpool inside their own half. So yet another match where Mo Salah gets an assist and a goal, as I say, his 8th penalty of the season. He's not infallible. Remember the one that he missed against Real Madrid here at the Kop end?
Oh, we can forget about that one.
But as you say, you know, to hit it like that with his left foot into the top corner, up where the owl sleeps, I think the phrase that they use in Brazil.
It's so difficult to do. It really is, especially under pressure. I know he loves pressure, Mo Salah, and he's the best in the business at it, but to do it under this, you know, it's amazing.
Tottenham vainly trying to come forward with Gray, and now Kulusevski, who's been kept extremely quiet. So Son as well. But you know, Tottenham have played most of the match in their own half. Kulusevski and Son. You know, normally with Tottenham, you expect to see them go, you know, fight fire with fire. And everyone who was witnessing their match at Brentford at the weekend said that they were more pragmatic in that match. But here, you know, we've seen little or nothing of Son, for example.
I'm very surprised.
However, Tottenham do break away with it, with Kulusevski, who slips the ball forward for Tell to chase. Thought about the early cross, in fact goes for that cross, which took a deflection of Konate, it was, who went across there with him, so it's a corner. And Tell, even though he's in his first minutes really as a Tottenham player, turns to those 5,000-6,000 Tottenham fans in the lower tier just behind that goal there, and raises his arms and says to those Tottenham fans, come on, we need your support, as Tottenham have a corner. 2-0 down on the night, 2-1 down on aggregate. Corner to be taken from the right side. Kulusevski into the edge of the 6-yard box, where it's headed away by Nunez, out to Bentancur. Bentancur is being forced by Gakpo to pass it back to Spence. Spence and Sarr together. Spence says, give it to me, but then overruns it. Gravenberch. Liverpool could break away here, and that's what they do. Pass to Salah. Salah's on the right, but he's up against Sarr, who does well. Good recovery, actually, went in with the challenge, and that tackle took the ball to Jed Spence, and Tell actually has come 10 yards and more back inside his own half. The young forward. Gray now with a pass, but that's easily cut out by the head of Robertson, who just nods it out of play, and Tottenham have a throw near the halfway line. It's going to be a double change for Tottenham very shortly. Pedro Porro and Lucas Bergvall coming on. Bergvall, the man who scored Tottenham's only goal of the tie so far. 1-0 after the first leg, but now 2-0 Liverpool lead. Gakpo and Salah, and just like Gakpo, who's scored in a 7th consecutive home appearance for Salah, that is now him scoring in 5 consecutive home appearances. Great record of scoring against Tottenham. I remember very well, as I'm sure you do as well, Dion, the penalty that he scored against Tottenham early on in the Champions League final between the two in Madrid that set the tone for that match. Played each other in a Champions League final, but this is the very first time they've played each other in a domestic semi-final, despite all of their various achievements. And here we'll see the changes now. So it's Sarr coming off from the midfield. He's had his injury problems recently, Pape Sarr, and Bergvall, the young Swede, another of the teenagers, the 19-year-old, comes on to replace him. And Pedro Porro is going to come on. I think that was that Bissouma's number? It was. So Bissouma.
Yeah, I think he's gone off on the far side, Bissouma.
Yeah. So let's see how Tottenham rejig this. Now, Pedro Porro has gone over to the right. So where is Archie Gray going? Well, at the moment, Gray is over here.
Come over to the left-hand side, isn't he?
Left back. And Jed Spence is now in an advanced position on the right-hand side. So Porro at right back and Jed Spence playing ahead of him. And actually Porro then passes it to Spence. And here is Spence into the full-back position. Liverpool have got bodies back. Porro. And then the ball played forward to Spence again. And Spence sets himself, crosses it across the box, but Robertson was there. Bradley was there and able to clear it away for Liverpool. Ben Davies back to Porro again. So Ange Postecoglou 2-0 down in the tie. Those two changes, that's altered things quite significantly for Tottenham.
They even look better balanced now. It's been a minute and they look more balanced already, Spurs.
And Archie Gray with Mo Salah all over the back of him just keeps the ball and plays it back to goalkeeper Kinski. Ben Davies, Kulusevski, who is now going to be more central, so that's another part of it for Tottenham. That could be significant. Plays it to Son into the action. Kulusevski into the box on the left-hand side. Kulusevski then on his right foot, back to Bentancur, right foot shot, but underneath it, and that is landing almost right at the back of the lower section where all of the Tottenham fans are. So 2-0 Liverpool continue to lead. And as for the Women's League Cup semi-final, Sohail Sahi.
1-1 here, John. We're into 5 added minutes at the end of this game. And Manchester City just had a golden chance. Good move down the right-hand side to the dead ball line. They pulled the cross back. And Jill Rood was 7 yards away. She headed the ball back where it came from, but just grazed the outside of the side netting. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1.
Commentary continues on 5 Sports Extra as Kinski had to be quick there under pressure. The Tottenham goalkeeper under pressure from Nunez, who's forced the error, couldn't find Gray with the pass, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Liverpool, almost up level with the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. So 2-0 to Liverpool in this semi-final. This is the second of 8 consecutive days of cup commentaries on 5 Live from the various competitions. The FA Cup over the course of the weekend and on into next week, and then the Champions League on Tuesday and Wednesday night. We'll be bringing you, very much looking forward to the FA Cup this weekend, Dion. Tomorrow night, Manchester United against Leicester, so Mike Mainet and Michael Brown will be commentating on that this time tomorrow, live from Old Trafford. But the FA Cup and the Six Nations, some big games there. You will hear that on 5 Live and Sports Extra, almost wall-to-wall commentary over the weekend, and then the Super Bowl as well on Sunday night. Last thing, here's Bradley passing it forward, but into Bentancur, it bounces for Jones. Jones takes it up towards the edge of the area. Gakpo, this is dangerous, left-footed ball across. Szoboszlai with a header from near the penalty spot, but straight at Kinski, who was able to gather the ball into his yellow jersey.
Yeah, it's far too easy though for Liverpool just to go through the thirds. It finds its way out to Gakpo. Gakpo just chips it into the box, and Szoboszlai from maybe, 12, 14 yards free header, but
Kinski passes it out of play. An unforced error again from the young goalkeeper, 21 years old. Throw-in taken by Liverpool. Bradley beats Bentancur and then plays it across, and a stab by Nunez, but wide of the near post. It's sort of snapshot by Nunez, but just couldn't get it on target into the bottom corner.
Yeah, nice little bit of skill from Conor Bradley down the right-hand side. I think he might have got a little Megs on Ben Davies there and sticks into a box, and Nunez just sticks a leg out. Gets the outside of his foot on it, hits the near post and goes out for a goal kick, but Spurs a little bit lax in possession in their own final third yet again.
The official tally, Dion, of Tottenham fans in here tonight is 5,984. I must say as well, I don't think an 8 o'clock kickoff does them any favours, does it? No. In a match that could go to extra time and penalties.
Absolutely, I think there might be a few phone calls in the morning.
However,
can't make it.
With this scoreline, they won't need to worry about that. I think they'll be disappointed, actually, with what they've seen so far. But I think the changes are interesting from Ange Postecoglou. We might see more from Tottenham now, but I guess that'll probably increase the chances of Liverpool getting another one.
Yeah, and I think we've seen more of Son already. I mean, Kulusevski going into the middle of the park, he's rolling the ball out to Son at every opportunity. I just think you need to get Son more in the game. You need your effective players, your best players, to really take charge of this game if you're in a white shirt.
Yep, Son, who's got an excellent goal-scoring record here. He scored in his last 4 appearances at Anfield for Tottenham, but he has not had even the faintest whiff of a chance tonight.
He hasn't. He's really been elusive. I mean, in the first half he must have had 2 or 3 touches. He hasn't done anything at all. Kulusevski's been quiet too.
Long pass from Kelleher over the top. Davis wins that against Szoboszlai, but Salah drives it on and then gives it to his left to Jones. And now Gakpo shoots across goal and it clips the far post. It just sort of glanced the face of the post. That's it, 6 inches away from 3-0 Liverpool, but it's out for a throw instead.
Yeah, it is, and it's a really good ball. It's a great ball from Jones. He actually he forces Gravenberch to get into a dangerous area, but he's got to square it. He really has. Nunez has made a brilliant run down the centre of the goal. He's 6 yards out. He's in front of his defender. If he just rolls it across to his centre forward, he gets a tap in. That's a bit greedy for me.
2-0 Liverpool, and they lead 2-1 on aggregate. With this scoreline, it's going to be a Liverpool-Newcastle Carabao Cup final. What about the Women's League Cup semi-final? Sohail Sahi.
I think we've got a winner in the 95th minute. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester City 2. The ball was bobbling about on the edge of Arsenal's penalty area. Mary Fowler picked it up, drilled it home, low left-footed. Arsenal, the holders, look like they're going out, John. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 2.
And with the scoreline here, it's Tottenham who'll be going out and Liverpool who'll be going through. Liverpool with the ball. Gakpo, though, is well challenged by Kulusevski. Then Porro, long pass for him. Tottenham are suddenly looking a little more like their Postecoglou selves. A long pass for Tell to chase, but Bradley's done extremely well and just held him off and allowed the ball to bounce out of play for a throw.
Yeah, he was in such a good position there for a fullback. He knew the ball was going to go over his head, but he just kept his body in between Tell and the ball and just shepherded it out. Strong, confident.
Again, Conor Bradley's name is sung by the Liverpool supporters. Trent Alexander-Arnold is here tonight. He's sitting with Alisson behind the Liverpool substitutes, the injured Alexander-Arnold. Bradley playing it forward again for Gravenberch. Gravenberch stretches, almost Patrick Vieira-like there, Gravenberch. And now Robertson, forward to Gakpo. Gakpo against Porro, coming in field, and then tried to angle it back, but Porro did well, actually, got himself back into position, cut out the pass, plays a crossfield pass that Son's going to struggle to keep in, and actually does very well to win a throw-in off Bradley. 25 minutes to play, Dion. Liverpool heading through, Gakpo and Salah with the goals.
There's more chances in this game yet, John. Lots more chances, at least 2 or 3 more chances for both sides. For Spurs to get back into it, for Liverpool to go ahead even more, so it's not over yet, not by a long shot.
Mo Salah with the penalty that he scored. That's 13 goals against Tottenham in all competitions for Liverpool. So he equals Ian Rush's record for goals for Liverpool against Tottenham. One of the greats. You and I bumped into Phil Thompson as well, didn't we, tonight in the corridor? Another one of the greats.
I mean, if you're on any list at all when it comes to Ian Rush, you've done well, regardless of what it is. I don't know what it is, but if you're on that list, you've done something right.
Liverpool playing the ball back to their goalkeeper, Kelleher. The songs ringing around Anfield. Szoboszlai just challenged by Bentancur, and then Kulusevski leans into Szoboszlai, and Tottenham have got it again. This is more positive for Spurs as Darwin Núñez tackles back on Kulusevski, and then he does his bit trying to raise the crowd as well. Núñez out of play for a throw-in to Tottenham. Gray to take this, having changed position. Gray takes the throw into Bentancur. That wasn't much of a pass back to him though, and Bradley's able to volley it away towards the halfway line. Danso heads it forward, but that bounces out, and we can get back to Meadow Park for the full-time score with you, Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, it's ended, John. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 2. So Arsenal, the holders, have been beaten. A 95th minute winner by Mary Fowler sent City into the League Cup final. Caldante, she levelled the game up from the penalty spot for Arsenal. Fowler then missed 3 minutes later from 12 yards, but she made up with that winning goal in the 95th minute. So it's Chelsea against Manchester City on March the 15th at Pride Park in Derby in the Women's League Cup final. Full-time, Arsenal 1, Manchester City 2.
Yeah, more on that later. 5 Live Sport on air till 10:30 tonight, so we'll have reaction. If you don't hear it then, it'll be on the Football Daily, I'm sure. From BBC Sounds, all live BBC radio is there, including Gary Lineker's recent interview with Arne Slot, actually. That's on the Football Daily feed. So look out for that. Well worth listening to, I hear, as Spence breaks away down the right-hand side for Tottenham, then cuts back. Still Spence, takes it back into the penalty area and then goes for goal himself. From, well, that was optimistic, but it flashed wide of the near top corner and behind. Goal kick.
Yeah, Robertson gets a high five there from his captain. I mean, he's out of place. Gets back in again. Spence is dropping his shoulder to the left, drops his shoulder to the right. He's just about to strike him. Robertson gets back into a very, very good defensive position. And his captain says, well done, that's what I want to see.
We're into the last quarter of the match. The second leg of this semi-final where Liverpool are now in charge. Salah does well, holds off the challengers, gives it to Szoboszlai. His ball across is cut out by Bergvall, sliding back on the edge of his own penalty area, and that just sent it wide, shoveled it wide and behind for a corner to Liverpool.
Yeah, for the first time tonight, Szoboszlai has picked the wrong pass. I mean, he's on the right-hand side. Spurs defenders are sprinting back towards their own goal. Gakpo and Jones on the far post. If he just lifts it over, they've got a volley inside the box. He chose a ping, just didn't find its way through. Another corner for Liverpool. Robertson's over to take it.
Liverpool with their noses in front, but it is still finely poised. Another goal for Liverpool, and that's surely them in the final at Wembley. If Tottenham were to get a goal, then it's back all square. Corner for Liverpool though. Robertson again backs away, left-footed ball into the 6-yard box. Kinski comes, was nowhere near it, and in the end it was Konate who got his head to it in amongst a crowd of players, but could only send it up and over the top. And I think he might have actually collided heads. There might have been a clash of heads in there as he made contact with it. Yes, there was, with Bentancur. If you remember Bentancur was stretchered off in the first leg,
yes.
And there was real concern for him. But
absolutely, and again it was
that wasn't too serious. But I think he's okay here.
Yeah, he's on his feet. I mean, he's a big, strong lad. It's going to take a lot to stop him carrying on. He's running back. He's getting back into position now.
Liverpool, just to underline their power, McAllister's going to come on, World Cup winner, and Diogo Jota as well. So we thought we'd see Luis Diaz, but not yet. Instead, it's going to be Jota, who's had another little spell out, injured recently. 2-0 Liverpool lead, 20 minutes to go. Kelleher, long and high through the middle for Jones, but it was headed away. Offside flag, I think, has gone up, so it's a free kick for Tottenham that they will take now back into the centre circle. Bentancur to Bergvall. Bergvall then taps it back to Davis, and here is Danso the new Tottenham number 4. That is the squad number for the Austrian international. Long crossfield pass from Porro, picks out Son, controls it, 25 yards from goal, still in a wide position. Then uses Archie Gray here on the left flank. Gray's cross, and Keller actually has to come across and push it up and over the top of the crossbar. Although I think
the ball went out and came in again.
Yeah, it says it went out and came back in, or perhaps even was over the bar before it was touched by Kelleher.
Yeah, I mean, Nunez is coming off now, actually. Nunez is coming off, John, but they love him, don't they? The amount of work he gets through. He might not be prolific. He might not be the silkiest player Liverpool have ever had in that number 9 shirt, but he puts a shift in every single time for this football club, and these fans appreciate it.
Yeah, Jota coming on for Nunez, and McAllister into the midfield for Curtis Jones, who is applauding all around Anfield as he leaves the field. The still relatively new England international from the autumn, scoring on his debut in Athens, unforgettably. A little slap of hands with Arne Slot, who with every minute that goes by is getting closer to leading Liverpool to Wembley. Never been to Wembley, Arne Slot, but Liverpool 2-1 up on aggregate and heading back to Wembley as the holders after their victory under Jurgen Klopp in this competition last season. Tottenham facing the possibility of more agony, chasing their first trophy since 2008, and now it's getting to the sharp end here. Kulusevski, though, Liverpool have lost possession. Bradley dispossessed. Gray to Kulusevski. Kulusevski forced away from the penalty area by the newly arrived Jota, but keeps possession. Bentancur, then Bergvall, and now Danso is going to have a little scurry forward, gives it to Son. Son, his ball across, that's blocked, comes back to Son, pokes it back to Danso, then a touch on the edge of the area from Tell, but Liverpool are able to cut it out and pass it forward to Jota. Tottenham have got men back, and indeed Bentancur is able to just nip the ball away from Jota, and Spurs start again from halfway inside their own half. Less than 20 minutes to go. Bentancur back towards Ben Davies. Ben Davies just helps it forward, still in possession, and then a long left-footed ball. That's asking a lot of Son, and Kelleher comes right to the edge of the penalty area and stretches high and catches the ball, then underarms it out to Bradley. Bradley's pass forward to Szoboszlai, still inside his own territory. Salah then helps it forward towards Gravenberg. Gakpo's available on the left-hand side. He uses him. Tottenham trying to get men back. Gakpo back to Gravenberg just outside the D, gets it back from Szoboszlai. Gravenberg with a shot, hits the outside of the post. Kinski diving down to his right, whether he had it covered or not I don't know, but outside of the post and behind. Goal kick.
Just Liverpool weighing up their options. Could have gone right to Salah, could have gone left to Jota. Great strike as well, really good strike, just low left-hand post.
So now Gakpo has hit the upright with his effort, and Gravenberg with that one. Liverpool so close to the third goal on the night that would probably finish Tottenham off. Bergvall to Spence. Porro makes a run forward, comes back to the blonde-haired Swedish teenager, and now Ben Davies back to Danso, and then he uses Spence again, who's dropped back behind Porro, and then in comes the challenge from Robertson to win it back from Porro. Excellent tackle from the Scotland captain. McAllister with the gloves on through the middle. First time touch from Bradley. Szoboszlai to win it, surely! Past Kinski and into the net for a third Liverpool goal on the night. Dominic Szoboszlai, a flowing Liverpool move that ends with the goal that probably takes them to Wembley. 3-0 Liverpool against Tottenham, 3-1 on aggregate.
I mean, that's just incredible. I've got to say, Conor Bradley there, just taking the initiative. McAllister's looking to play a ball from the centre of the pitch out to Mo Salah, but the great thing about this goal is Conor Bradley's come off his right wing, or should I say right back position, and he's cut the ball out, played it into Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai runs into the box, 2 yards inside the box, and he just side foots it past the keeper. Conor Bradley's weight of pass is brilliant. McAllister's weight of pass is brilliant. Szoboszlai's finish is brilliant.
The touch from Bradley,
outstanding.
He's very, very good at that, isn't he? Coming forward, he's a real option there. The energy that he has, that's the right back surging through on the edge of the penalty area.
Absolutely, and the confidence he has to take the ball on, to make sure that he's the one that's going to play the pass, and then he gets back into a defensive position.
Well, they've got the cushion now, Liverpool. 3-1 on aggregate. Tottenham have got to score twice without reply just to take this to extra time. And there is not much sign of that happening. I'm still not sure if Kelleher has actually had a save to make in the match.
Well, his kit looks pretty clean to me, so possibly not.
Difficult to tell, though, with it being all black. But no, I think he's had a quiet night, really. And the statistics back up the fact that Tottenham are yet to have an attempt on target, and that's disappointing, isn't it? For an Ange Postecoglou team not to have an attempt on target. We wouldn't have been expecting that.
Absolutely not. I'd have expected Kelleher to have made 4 or 5 saves in the first half, 4 or 5 saves in the second half.
As Tell dropping deep, finds a pass to Son down the left wing. Konate keeping up with him. Son into the box now, onto his left foot, goes for goal. Actually, it's the crossbar. From the angle, he whipped it goalwards, hit the face of the bar, and rebounded away out of play on the far side.
Yeah, he just does what he does, Son, one-on-one with Konate. He drops his right foot, bit of a lollipop with his right foot over the ball, goes to his left, and he's only about, 6 yards on the angle, strikes it past Kelleher into the centre of the crossbar, and it's gone out. He hit it that hard, it went out for throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch.
5 Live from the BBC. Liverpool 3, Tottenham 0. Listen, if you're on the move on BBC Sounds, looks like Liverpool are on the way through. I should learn my lesson, Dion, with Tottenham and generally with football. Just when I'd said that about needing 2 goals without reply, took me back to Amsterdam in the Champions League semi-final, when they came back from seemingly totally out of it. Here's Kulusevski now trying to find a way through. Remember Lucas Moura with the goals in that unforgettable match against Ajax. McAllister involved in the third goal so well. Here's Szoboszlai, who scored it, his 5th goal of the season, scored in the last home match against Ipswich. Liverpool, top of the Premier League. They won the group, the new Champions League phase, so number 1 seeds for the round of 16, still going in the FA Cup. They're at Plymouth on Sunday afternoon, and here they are seemingly on the way to the final of the Carabao Cup as the holders. Here's Szoboszlai, another flowing move. Robertson's involved in this now. Robertson shoots, it's deflected off Porro, which took it up and over and behind for another Liverpool corner. He had options there, Andy Robertson, but he went for glory.
Yeah, he did. He's taken 2 touches. He's thinking, I've got Gakpo outside. Miss Salah's just stayed away on the far side. Jota's made a run as well, as you would expect, but his eyes lit up. He could see the whites of the goal, but he took his shot on and it took a deflection. Are we into the 20s yet when it comes to corners? Wow, there's got to be 14 or 15. I've never known so many corners.
9 and 4, 13 we're on to, I think. Corner then from the left in that corner of Anfield where the glass-fronted police box is up above where this is going to be swung in into the 6-yard area and headed in, and it's Van Dijk. 4-0 now, Liverpool in the semi-final. That seals it. Liverpool are going back to Wembley as the holders of the Carabao Cup. They've stormed through it tonight in the end, and the captain has topped it off. 4-0 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate.
It's too easy, far too easy. I mean, it's one of the best corners of the night. Out of all the 14, 4 or 5 have hit the near post and hit the first man, which were poor in the first half. But it's an absolute beauty. It's curled in. It's centre of the goal. It's 6 yards out. The biggest player's there. The player that wants it the most is Virgil van Dijk. And there's hardly a challenge on him. Hardly a challenge. The Spurs players are jumping. They've turned their back on him. They're not really wanting to defend it. And it's a really good header from Van Dijk. Spurs, towards the end of this game, have looked a little toothless.
And it's the man who scored the winning goal in the final last season, Virgil van Dijk, who scores the goal that clinches their place in this season's final. And Liverpool going to make another couple of changes now. Salah's off, Harvey Elliott's on, Luis Diaz as well, replacing Gakpo. So two of the goal scorers, Gakpo and Salah, on a slot. That's pretty much him saying, yep, the job is done here. Salah and Gakpo. They've got Everton to play at Goodison Park in that rearranged match next Wednesday. Tottenham also bringing on Mikey Moore for Ben Davis. But it's gone for Tottenham. It's gone for Ange Postecoglou. They're still going in the FA Cup. They've got a big tie on Sunday night. You'll hear commentary on that. Aston Villa against Tottenham, the old Premier League match at Villa Park. One of our many commentaries on 5 Live and Sports Extra from the FA Cup 4th round over the course of the coming days. Still going in the Europa League, but it's not going to be this competition if they're going to win that trophy in his second season.
Yeah, you know what? The first half kind of summed up Spurs. Liverpool got the ball in the first 5-10 minutes and they just went straight back into a 5-4-1. No press, no energy, and it really played into Liverpool's hands. That's what they want.
So Liverpool pour forward again. We've still got 6 minutes or more to play. 4-0 on the night. And Robertson now receives it, and Robertson's ball across, and Spence had to be sharp to clear it on the edge of this 6-yard area, and McAllister now as Liverpool have possession back. So a Liverpool-Newcastle final then, Dion. As the ball just runs away over there on the far side, now to play for a throw into Tottenham.
And you know what, John? I don't even think Liverpool have got into, the high gears tonight. I think they've kind of not coasted through this game. They've turned it on when they've needed to. They've played the ball a little bit quicker and they've concentrated a little bit harder when they needed to, but they haven't consistently been on it tonight. It just goes to show where Spurs are. I mean, Son tonight's really done nothing. Few little bits on the far post. Kulusevski's not really done a lot. Bentancur's not really had a chance. He hasn't had the ball. Pretty poor.
Yeah, Tottenham have lost possession. Liverpool again. It's headed across the penalty area. Diaz is after this, and now a chance on the corner of the 6-yard box from Jota, who was stretching for it, and it was deflected wide actually, with Kinski diving down to his right, and it's yet another corner.
Yeah, you expect Jota, anything in and around the box, you expect Jota to score every single time.
Came off Archie Gray's backside, I think, that took it wide.
Even I know this is number 15.
So, corner from the left. This time, Van Dijk scored from the last one from that side. Here's the delivery from McAllister, which is headed away for Tottenham by Bentancur, and then Szoboszlai comes through the challenge on the edge of the box, and that has given us a free kick for the challenge by Spence. So a free kick to Liverpool just outside the penalty area. Just over 5 minutes to play, and Liverpool in complete control now.
Yeah, complete. I mean, it's a ridiculous challenge from Spence. I mean, he just dives in, he leaves the ground, he dives in at Elliott's feet and gives Liverpool a free kick in a really dangerous area, about 10 yards in from the corner of the box, infield, 25 yards out. Szoboszlai's over it.
Yep, Szoboszlai and Robertson. Harvey Elliott makes himself available just to the right if they want to use that option. Referee just lining up the wall, just looking to the other end of Anfield as well. Now red seats, lots of red seats appearing in the Tottenham section. Great disappointment for them. All of these barren years, 17 years without a trophy. Liverpool with the free kick. Szoboszlai just curls it in, and it's headed down and wide. It's Jota.
Is that Jota or Diaz?
I think it's
Jota.
It is Jota. He is, for a man the size that he is so effective in the air in the opposing penalty area, but he couldn't get that one on target, and now Kwanzaa is going to replace Van Dijk. So Gakpo's off, Salah's off, and now Van Dijk is going to be cheered off as well. You don't often see him substituted, but having scored the goal that has effectively sealed their place in the final, off he comes, clapping his hands, and Jarrell Kwanzaa will come on to replace him.
Yeah, captain's performance. What he does do, what people don't know with Virgil van Dijk, and you very rarely see it as well, he's always organising, pushing players, telling them where to go, shouting, you go there, play quick, play slow. Very much the conductor in this side. Gets a massive hug from his manager, lots of high fives from the staff. Well done, Virgil van Dijk, job well done.
Yes, he's given a pat by Arne Slot, the manager who's about to lead Liverpool to a cup final, his first cup final as the Liverpool manager, and this extraordinary first season for him continues. Arne Slot, as Gray passes it forward, Tell on the chase, but Konate will get there first. He was the subject of Tony Livesey's floodlit fact of the day last night as well. Arne Slot, Tony's question was, what did a former teammate of his at NAC Breda say that Arne Slot never does as Liverpool win a free kick inside their own half, a foul on Diaz? It was, does he not drink? Does he not watch movies? Or does he not swear, Dion?
I'm going to go for not drink.
No, that's what I said. But he never swears, apparently. That was the answer. That was the fact of the day last night.
It's a very good habit to have,
isn't it? Here's Bradley, particularly when you're a broadcaster, as Kelleher plays the ball out towards the left-hand side. It's flicked by Diaz, but then tackled out of play by Danzo. Late goal back for Doncaster Rovers, Chesterfield winning 4-2, and then they've suddenly scored another one, so it's 5-2, Chesterfield winning 5-2 against second place Doncaster Rovers in the night's match in League 2. This time tomorrow, if you're listening to 5 Live, you'll be listening to Manchester United against Leicester City in the 4th round of the FA Cup, as Elliott helps it forward to Szoboszlai, and now Diaz passes it behind Jota, and Tottenham will be able to deal with that one. Or they should do. Mikey Moore, now the teenager who just scored his first goal for the club last week in the Europa League. Actually, the ball didn't go out of play, so Liverpool come again. And they've got a scoreline now, which really is in keeping with the match that we've seen here tonight. 4-0.
I would agree. I would agree that Liverpool have taken charge of this game for 65, 70 minutes. Passed it well, moved well, really haven't had to work too hard for this result at all against a really poor Spurs side that really haven't offered anything at all going forward when it comes to good, potent finishes.
And they're singing Arne Slot's name as well, as they were urged to do by Jurgen Klopp at the end of last season when he was on the microphone here at Anfield. In the last half hour of 5 Live Sport, we'll try and bring you live interviews from down in the tunnel. We're on there till 10:30 tonight before Tony Livesey is back on the air. And I would point you as well towards, we've got another of the Commentators' View podcasts being recorded in the morning. You'll find that on the Football Daily feed in the morning when Ali Bruce Ball is away this week, so the great Jackie Oatley is joining us in the morning, so look out for that tomorrow. Here is Bergvall turning away from trouble, playing the ball back to Gray on the edge of the box. But these are just the final moments of Tottenham in this competition this season. They've had some run, you know, Tottenham, having knocked out Manchester United and Manchester City, but coming up against the team of the season so far, Liverpool, in the semi-finals, has been a step too far for them, as Danso passes it forward. There'll be 3 minutes of added time at the end of the match, as you are now hearing. Konate heading it away, Bergvall trying to get there, Kulusevski, and then Spence down into the full-back position, goes for the back heel. Spence in on the challenge again after the first back heel was blocked, and then Son goes for a curler that Kelleher allows to curl over the crossbar and clipping the netting on the roof.
Yes, I mean Spurs have kind of played into Liverpool's hands tonight. The players that you expect to affect a game for Spurs, and coming here with that slight advantage as well. They should have done more with it. They should have hung on to it for longer. It should have meant more to these Spurs players. I'm not really seeing the body language of a side that had an advantage when they came here. They came here, they sat back, they waited, and they've got what they deserved for waiting.
4-0 is the scoreline. This is the third consecutive season that Tottenham have come to Anfield and conceded 4 goals. Liverpool, who put 6 past them at the Tottenham Stadium just before Christmas in the 6-3. Here's Kelleher. Hopes were raised by that performance in the first leg, but Liverpool have snuffed it out. Still only 1-0 at half-time, but 3 goals in the second half. That Salah penalty, that brilliantly taken penalty, and then Szoboszlai and Van Dijk scoring further goals. And Liverpool now just coasting towards the final against Newcastle. So one of the many finals that Newcastle have had, 5 of them in all since they last won a major trophy. Oh, as it's given away at the back, given away to Son, and then Son couldn't find the pass forward. That rather summed things up for Tottenham, and Liverpool actually break with Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz comes infield as You Never Walk Alone strikes up now around Anfield. Here's Elliott on the right for Liverpool. Elliott's ball infield. Bradley trying to find a way past Bentancur and Bergvall, but the Tottenham players are able to dispossess him, and actually Spurs go back towards the edge of the penalty area. Yes, Newcastle have been in 5 finals since they won the Fairs Cup back in the 60s, and the first of them was against Liverpool in the 1974 final. It was one of the earlier ones I remember, Dion, probably slightly before your time. Slightly.
I was 5.
Well, maybe not. Here's Elliott, edge of the area. Elliott gets it down on his left foot. In comes the challenge from Bergvall just when Elliott was looking to add to the total. Tottenham have been able to work it away. Yes, Kevin Keegan was one of the key men back in those days as the ball's out of play, throwing to Liverpool inside their own half. And Newcastle were well beaten then. And Tottenham have been well beaten here tonight in the second leg of this semi-final as Craig Pawson blows the final whistle. Liverpool handsome winners, 4-0. It's going to be a Liverpool-Newcastle Carabao Cup final in 2025. Good winners, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I would say so, fully deserved. I mean, first half they had lots of possession, didn't do enough with it. I'm pretty sure that Slot, the manager's taken them in at half-time and say, listen, just go through the gears a bit more for me. Move the ball a bit quicker, and if you do get a half chance, stick it in the back of the net and we'll win the game comfortably. They did do that. Again, like I've said, they didn't really have to go hell for leather, Liverpool. They did enough. They did enough to get to where they needed to be. Spurs, for me, were completely and utterly well off it. I don't know why. Energyless, the chances they had, they didn't really... It didn't hurt them not to score. It didn't hurt them not to hit the target. And half their fans were leaving when it got to 2. When it got to 3, most of them were gone. Liverpool fully deserved it.
Yes, Ange Postecoglou walks out there onto the pitch. It's not going to be this competition for him. They're left with the Europa League and the FA Cup, of course, but Tottenham out in the semi-finals despite leading into the second leg. But Liverpool, the cup holders, they're back in the final again. It's going to be a record-extending 15th appearance in a League Cup final for the record winners of this competition, and for Arne Slot, a final at the first opportunity in his first season as the Liverpool manager. Very good winners here tonight. Gakpo, Salah with a penalty, Szoboszlai, Van Dijk. Very, very convincing. 4-0 on the night, 4-1 to Liverpool against Tottenham on aggregate in this semi-final. So Kelly will be with us in due course, Dion.
I'm here.
She's there. She's there somewhere. Somewhere out there, Dion. Somewhere out in that.
Experienced radio professional.
In the wilderness.
I didn't press my button. Look, what I was saying that you didn't manage to hear because I didn't actually turn my mic up is that there's something about the way that Liverpool have progressed to the final of this competition, and particularly across these two semi-finals, which almost epitomises their season so far on a slot, in that when it doesn't need to be spectacular, it isn't all guns blazing. It's just more controlled. It is calmer. It just feels quite sensible the way that they progress. And we're saying that after a 4-0 win.
I thought they did what they had to do. It's not all guns blazing with this Arne Slot's Liverpool. They just do enough. And when they have to put the foot on the gas for 10-15 minutes, they do, and the quality of the balls are better from the corners. That means you're going to get a chance. I mean, the Szoboszlai goal was brilliant. Conor Bradley down the right-hand side was brilliant. Salah played his part. The way that Virgil van Dijk was just like the conductor at the back there. Great understanding with Konate. I just believe that when they need to do it, they can. When Spurs need to do it, they can't.
No, and they were certainly struggling, and even when they did have the chances, they weren't quite on form with them. When Ange Postecoglou made the substitutions at the beginning of the second half, it did feel as though there was a change for Tottenham, that there might have been another way for them to go with this. Yeah,
you know what? When, for the first 2, 3, 5 minutes even, when they made those changes, I thought to myself, OK, Son got the ball straight away, and he took on Bradley, he got a little bit of joy, hit the bar. Spence went to the right-hand side. They started to play with a 4 up top and just got the ball forward, and they made Liverpool defend. They made Liverpool concentrate on the shape of the back 4. When they were out of possession, Liverpool, they had to go to a back 5 because they left 4 white shirts up. But that was it. It was a 5-minute spell. For me, if I was a Spurs fan who's travelled all the way up here tonight, I'd be very disappointed that my team didn't really hang on to what they had. They kind of gave it away to Liverpool.